Scouts, fellow Scouters, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Troop Committee of Scouts BSA Troop 557, it is my great pleasure to call this Eagle Court of Honor to order. Will everyone please stand? Color Guard, present the colors. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Carrie Kendall, Troop Committee member, will give the invocation.
Please be reverent. Dear gracious God, as we gather today to celebrate Keegan's achievement of Eagle Scout, we give thanks for his family, his fellow Scouts, and his Scout leaders who have shaped him into the leader he has become. Under their guidance, he has learned more about who he is, developed an interest in conserving and protecting the world's resources, and been enthusiastic about helping others. We ask that you continue to direct his life so that his actions and dealings with others may make the world a better place in which to work and play. In your name we pray. Amen.
Today is a very special day in all of our lives. For Keegan, it is special because in just a few moments, he will join a very select group that few young people ever achieve. Receiving the Eagle rank is one of the few events in life that truly happens only once. It is a very special day for Keegan's family, who has supported him in his Eagle quest and can take pride in his earning this award. It is also a special day for our troop and for First Lutheran Church. Troop 557 has had a long tradition of Eagle Scouts, and we are now proud to continue that tradition with the young ladies of Troop 1557 as we conduct this Eagle Court of Honor. And for each of you, it is a special day as you come here to celebrate Keegan's accomplishment. On behalf of the Scouts and leaders of Scouts BSA Troop 557, I welcome all of you who have come to participate in this Eagle Court of Honor. Will all Eagle Scouts please stand and introduce yourselves?
Ross Smith, Troop 34, Ultra Civilian. Rick Booth, Troop 149, South Spring, Maryland.
Robbie Cassidy, Troop 216.
Thank you. With us today are Keegan's family, Leslie Polazkowyj mom, Anton Polazkowyj dad, Callie Polazkowyj stepmom, Chris Smith stepdad, sisters Katie and Natalie Polazkowyj, grandparents Sophie Polazkowyj and Brad and Kay Smith, and Uncle James Hyday. There are few achievements in life that require the vision and fortitude to be completed by a certain age. Achieving the rank of Eagle Scout is one of them. Neither education nor hard work can earn this honor once a young person reaches the age of 18. By the power vested in me by the National Council and the Hoosier Trails Council of the Boy Scouts of America, I officially convene this Court of Honor for the sole purpose of awarding the Eagle Scout rank to Keegan Polazkowyj. Now we are proud to present our Eagle candidate, who will be guided by his escorts to the base of the Eagle Trail.
you as an Eagle Scout. I have earned my Eagle badge. Now, back to the time when you first became a Scout in your last meeting with your Cubmaster, Aquila.
Keegan, many days have come and gone since you last stood before Aquila at the council circle. At that time, you were presented a patch signifying your accomplishment of earning the Arrow of Light, the highest attainable rank in Cub Scout. Never forget the fun times that you had as a Cub Scout and the opportunity to experience new challenges, visit new places. Where once you were a boy in the Cub Scout pack aspiring to become an Eagle Scout, you now stand before Aquila as a young man who has proven himself worthy of the title Eagle Scout.
The first thing that we learned as new members of our troop was the oath by which the Scouts do their best to live. Although we easily learned to repeat the words, we soon found that to live by the meaning presented us with a real challenge. To be a good citizen, to do the right thing, not for fear of punishment, but because we felt the obligation to live up to the best within ourselves, to keep our minds and bodies healthy. And all these things we have tried to do our best. So have you, and this is why you stand here today.
On my honor, I will do my best.
Let us look at the phrase, Scout's honor. When a Scout stands before his fellow Scouts and pledges, on my honor, I will do my best. He should not take the words lightly. That phrase should help him focus on his personal integrity, so that his earnest desire to do his best is strengthened and reinforced.
As Tenderfoot Scouts, we said to ourselves, "These are my rules. I believe in them and accept them." You became a Scout on the Eagle Trail, taking a bearing on our future and moving toward honor.
To do my duty to God and my country.
In your duty to your country, there's an old Chinese saying that each generation builds a road for the next. The road has been built well for you. It's incumbent upon you to build your road even better for the next generation. We hope you will never be called upon to die for your country, but you will be expected, and America has every right to expect that you will live for it.
By the time you became a second-class Scout, you began to develop an increasing awareness of the meaning of this part of the Scout Oath. You began to learn the importance of good citizenship and its privileges, and more importantly, its responsibilities. The time you spent hiking and camping with the troop made you more appreciative of the beautiful world God created for all of us. You began to see not only doing your best to live as God and our country expected you to live, not only made you a better person, but helped your fellow Scouts.
To obey the Scout law.
And many times since you became a Scout, you have repeated the 12 points of the Scout law. And when you were inducted as the newest member of the troop, you found these points impressive. And later, as you advanced in Scouting, you probably repeated them at various ceremonies without always giving thought to the implication behind the words. And now, as you relive with us your progress in Scouting and your progress in your personal maturity, we would like you to hear them again. Please listen as the Eagle Scouts who are with us today repeat the Scout law. So, will all the Eagle Scouts please rise and repeat the Scout law?
As a first-class Scout, you tried to demonstrate the points of the Scout law by the way you lived. You gained some understanding of these 12 goals of personal conduct and found that as you moved up the Eagle Trail, living up to these goals became increasingly demanding and rewarding. Just as all Scouts are challenged, so were you.
to help other people at all times.
This should remind you of the Scout slogan, do a good turn daily. If we do something regularly, it becomes a habit. That is the aim of this part of the Scout Oath. Doing personal good turns and community service is an important part of Scouting.
To become a Star Scout and then earn the next rank, the Heart Badge of Life, you were required to do community service work. Sometimes you worked under the leadership of an older scout whose immediate goal was Eagle rank, but you also planned and carried out projects of your own. You became increasingly aware of the value of work that you were doing and the personal satisfaction to be gained from making that work succeed.
As you served our community and assisted fellow scouts, you also discovered something else, the importance of the example you were setting to those who watched you, who would later be more likely to accept such responsibilities in their turn because of your attitude and actions. As every Eagle Scout before you did his or her best to set the example, so did you.
To keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
So when a scout makes a pledge to keep himself physically strong, he's not thinking about bulging muscles. He's speaking of physical fitness in its most complete sense. Fitness to be able to enjoy life the fullest. Fitness so that he can fulfill his finest possible role in life with confidence in his own abilities.
The phrase, keep myself mentally awake, sets a goal of mental health and vitality, initiative and keenness of mind. An expanding concept that grows as a boy matures. The mentally awake person finds many pathways to growth. He thinks the people who stimulate him are curious, alert, and creative. He uses all the available resources to help him understand the world in which he lives and to which he hopes to contribute his share.
To keep morally straight means to keep clean in mind and body, whether you're alone or in a crowd. And many times you'll be alone, and the decision for the right or wrong will rest solely with you. It may test your honor and your strength. And such battles may be the most gallant of your life, for in them you will win without praise and lose without blame.
In many ways, you found this part of the Scout Oath to be the most challenging of all. As a Life Scout, in the leadership roles to which you were appointed or elected, you found that more was expected of you than ever before. It was now assumed that as a troop leader, you would accept the responsibilities and see them through, and that you would set an example of physical, mental, and moral fitness for your fellow Scouts. You did your best to meet that challenge.
So have you done and been all you could have? Only you can answer that question. But because you stand here tonight, or this afternoon, we know that you have tried. On my honor, I will do my best.
You have nearly completed your journey, and there is one final thought we would like to share with you. The word leadership does not appear in the Scout Oath, but it is implied in every phrase. Give thought now to your responsibility as a leader. A leader is a person who is going somewhere, but not alone. He takes others with him as he goes. Where will you lead those who follow you? We challenge you to take pride in what you have learned, so that through your leadership, as you move with purpose towards your goals, the principles of the Scout Oath becomes a living thing for those who follow.
So Keegan, join the spirit with thousands of young men and now young women who have attained the goal you have now achieved. Pledge yourself once again to citizenship and service by repeating the Scout oath.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God my country and to obey the Scout law. I will be equal at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally strict.
Those around you, your Scoutmaster, parents, and friends, have watched your character mature, your mind develop, and your leadership abilities expand into a valuable asset. This is a proud moment for you. But remember that the badge you're about to receive is not only yours, but ours. For what you do in the future reflects not only upon yourself, but also upon your fellow Eagle Scouts. You have walked the Eagle Trail with honor, and we welcome you.
Trooper Mason, if you would gather his parents. So we'll start with the awards presentations, the best part of the entire ceremony, I'm sure. So let's start with, if I can please, we have the Eagle Scout certificate. It also comes, we have the council patch, council shoulder patch, the NISA membership card, National Eagle Scout Association. And then we also have the Eagle Scout pin or award. If I could please, would you please pin that? So in addition to the Eagle Scout medal, Keegan has done enough merit badge work to earn also a bronze and a gold palm that will be given to you. Then next, if we could, if I could have, if you would like to remove his old troop kerchief, save his slide, you're going to need that. If you would give him his new Eagle Scout. Fantastic.
It is my distinct pleasure and honor to be here as Keegan Scoutmaster at his Eagle Court of Honor. I still remember when his then crossed over into the Scouts. He's grown considerably since then, both figuratively and literally. When Keegan crossed over, he was a completely different Scout than what you see before you today. He was incredibly shy. When you'd speak to him, you'd strain to hear a response, if you got any at all. He would look at his shoes or his pen or the floor, anywhere but at you. When we asked for a response, Keegan's hand never went up. He'd quietly sit and hope you didn't call on him. If you did, you could see the panic in his eyes. Not because he didn't know the answer, he probably did. He just didn't want to be in the spotlight. A lot has changed over the course of these years. By the time we finished our first year or so, Keegan was more and more willing to speak out. He still wouldn't look you in the eye, but he would talk to you, and that look of panic had kind of faded. The transition to Boy Scouts was good for Keegan. As one of the rank requirements, each scout needs to fill a position of responsibility. Over the years, Keegan has filled many different roles. Each time he took on a role, he became more confident. Of all the scouts I can remember, I can't think of anybody that stood as SPL or ASPL or stood in front and opened as many times as you have. It's never about being in charge or having power over the troop. It was simply Keegan knew he could do it, and he wanted to help make the scouts become better at what they did. As meetings and courts of honor came and went, Keegan got more confident and became a better presenter. He learned to face his audience and his fears, and he projected his voice a little bit better. Don't get me wrong, there's still some room for improvement. At least now when he speaks to you, he isn't looking at his shoes, but he might still be looking at yours. Keegan is one of those scouts that I could always count on. If you needed something done, all you had to do was ask. You could be confident he'd see to it, it would get done. He's also one of those scouts that understands the patrol method. If Keegan saw a younger scout struggling with a task, you can be sure he would be the one helping him out. Always. He's a fantastic teacher. He's patient, and the younger kids look up to him. E. Erner Goodman, creator of the Order of the Arrow, of which Keegan is also a member, is quoted as saying, "He who serves his fellows is of all his fellows greatest." Keegan both understands this and embodies it. Some of you may have heard me say that I joined scouting because of my son, but I say because of yours. Keegan is one of those scouts that brings me to meetings every week. To watch him go from the shy boy we started with to the fine young man he is now makes me proud to say that I played some small part. When Keegan ages out and moves on to college or whatever great thing he's involved in, I hope he checks in with us from time to time. And in the meantime, Keegan, as you know, you're welcome at my campfire anytime.
Escorts, if you would please, come and retrieve the parents, return them to their seats.
Giving the Eagle charge today is Eagle Scout Austin Giles of Troop 557.
The foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. He knows that a scout is trustworthy is the very first point in scout law for good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because honor is important to him, but because of the vital significance of the example he sets for other scouts. Living honorably reflects credit on his home, his church, his troop, and his community. May the light of the Eagle badge remind you you always live with honor. The second obligation of an Eagle Scout is loyalty. A scout is true to his family, scout leaders, friends, school, and nation. His loyalty to his troop and brother scouts makes him pitch in and carry a share of the load. All of these help to build the loyalty that means devotion to community, to country, to one's own ideals, and to God. Let the blue of the Eagle Badge always inspire your loyalty. The third obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be courteous. Courage has always been a quality by which men measure themselves and others. To a scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but also the determination to stand up for the right. Trusting in God with faith in his fellow man, he looks forward to each day, seeking his share of the world's work to do. Let the red of the Eagle Badge remind you you are always covered. The fourth obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be cheerful. To remind the Eagle Scout to always wear a smile, the red, white, and blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the second class Scout Award, which has its end turned up in a smile. The final responsibility of an Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle Scout extends a helping hand to those who still toil up scouting trails, just as others help them climb to the eagle. The performance of the daily good turn takes on a new meaning when he enters a more adult life of continuing service to others. The Eagle stands as a protector of the weak and helpless. He aids and comforts the unfortunate and the oppressed. He holds the rights of others while defending his own. He will always be prepared to put forth his best. You deserve as much credit for having Chief Scouting's highest award, but wear your award with humility, ever mindful that the Eagle Scout is looked up to as an example. May the Scout Oath and the Scout Law be your guide for tomorrow and on.
Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce Scout 7, newest Eagle Scout, Keegan. Keegan?
Believe it or not, I also did not like speeches. not very much. I've gotten a lot better, more tolerant. I just want to say thank you all for coming. It's great to see all the scouts who came here and supported me, of course, all my family. Anyway, I'd like to get to my pins. Sadly, one of them, Mr. Jones, isn't here today. But anyway, I'd like to give my second pin, Mr. Hatchett, for being my first one. Yeah. He's always there. He helped me get used to scout and get a lot better. First summer camp, I was homesick, very homesick. I cried for the first couple of days, very bad. But
I thought about talking about that in my speech, and I thought, no, I'll just leave that out.
You helped me realize that scouting is more than just a place where you show up. It's a lifestyle, and it's something that you get not only used to, but it helps you grow. And yes. And my third one that I'd like to give is Virginia Rose. Very stern, but
I just act that way. Because I have to deal with teenage boys.
you gotta deal with me.
Trust me.
It was through that I got the motivation to try and get it done. It was a little late in summer, but I wasn't the late to see that.
No.
No, shut that.
And so we're pushing you all. I'll let you do this thing.
Okay.
And for my last pin, I'd like to give mine to my current Scoutmaster, Mr. Darrell. He's with the Scoutmaster conferences and all the campouts that he's been with. He's been a huge help and a huge supporting role. And I just want to give you this pin for always being there, especially when receiving this pin. And then to the speech. So I guess I'd like to conclude here. Again, thank you all for coming. Still a bit shy, of course. I can't really speak that well, but yes, thank you for coming.
It's nice to know you've earned your keep. Carrie Kendall will now pronounce the benediction.
Let us please be reverent. We now call upon the great Spirit of all for his blessing on this new Eagle Scout. May he always strive to attain the noblest and highest ideals of life. Be his strength and his guide. Cause him to follow a straight path and to never be a reason for other scouts to waver from their paths. Protect him for many moons to come. And now, may the great master of all scouts be with us until we meet again, and may we follow the trail that leads us all to him.
Please join us for reception honoring Keegan in the fellowship hall. Will all scouts and scouters please join me in forming a scouting circle and singing scout vespers and taps. all for coming. Please join us for the reception of the fellowship hall.